like a supernova. You light up my dark, you burn me like fire and tear me apart. And when I think it's over, you suck me in like a black hole. Floating in your universe, baby, orbiting around, you got me hypnotized. Feeling so scared, need you to save me. It's like you're my savior and my demise. You're like poison in my veins, and it's driving me insane. When I look into those eyes, I might as well be lost in space.
I got a review today.
Hello everyone, my name is Trianala, but you can always just call me Tria or Kinsey, I don't really care. And guys, today I am bringing you a review of my new MacBook Pro, if I could hold it up correctly. There it is, right here, guys. I'm so excited to be making this video because I have used this baby for about a week now. It's been exactly a week on Saturday. Today's Sunday, so I've had it for one day over a week. So I am going to go ahead and do a full review on it. I have a lot to say about this laptop. I almost said tablet, but that is not the right word. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. And guys, just like every other review, how we do it is we are going to go over the pros and cons of the laptop. We start off with pros first and then move on to cons afterwards. So without further ado, let's move on to the first Pro. And the first pro that I have with this MacBook here is the size. Now I do have a 15-inch MacBook Pro with the touch bar at the top. So it is quite a big screen, as you saw from the little montage in the very beginning of the video. It is quite big. I love that size screen. When I was in the store, they had two different 15 inches models. So they had this one that had the touch bar on it, and the sides are very close to the very end of the computer. I'll show you really quickly. So it's, if you open it up here, like the sides are very close to the actual body of the computer. There was another one that I saw as well that it was also a 15-inch and it was a MacBook Pro as well, but the sides, the bezels were a lot larger, and I'm not sure if they made it that way just so it would entice you to make or to buy the MacBook Pro with the Touch ID, because the MacBook that I saw that had the larger bezels around the screen did not have Touch ID, so it might have just been like a marketing choice to make the Touch ID one have a bigger screen just because it costs more, but I don't know. I will say the actual size on this, I do love it. It is quite large, as you can see, so I mean it's not something that you would necessarily take around with you. I mean, I would. If you're someone that's in college or school, whatever, then if you needed one this big, then it would really be great, but it may be heavy. But it is about this big here, as you can see. But yes, the size is great. I did also look at the 13-inch model while I was at the store, but it seemed a little too small for personally me, for my liking. And then I think if you had one that was any bigger than this, then it may just be a little too much to worry about. So I think the 15-inch is a great middle point, if you will. I think it's a great size and it just looks great. And guys, that's going to be all about the size part of it. Now we're going to talk about screen resolution and how good the actual display looks on the device. Now, as you can see on here, the colors are very highly saturated. That was one of the biggest things that drew me into this laptop when I was at the store, is because I saw the differences between this one and the other 15-inch. So the colors on here are just beautiful. As you can see, I have a picture of Rivendell as my my wallpaper. But the colors really just pop. They look very crisp and clear, all of them. And especially when you're watching something like a movie. I've already watched a movie on this. I watched Lord of the Rings, like duh. But it looked great. The actual, the screen was very clear. It looked really well saturated. It didn't look cartoony with the colors. I know sometimes that like with phones and stuff, if the contrast and saturation is a little too high or low, it can make the picture look a bit cartoony, which I did not find with watching movies on here or YouTube videos. I thought the colors were very crisp and they were very bright, but not overly so. And the colors have a very good depth to them as well. Like the blacks really look black, in my opinion, and the colors really have a really good, like, it's not flat. You know, if you've ever seen, like, if you've ever taken a picture with like maybe like an iPhone 4S, something like that, the colors look quite flat whenever you take a picture with that. I didn't have any issues with that on this laptop. Everything was very, very nice to look at. So that is going to be it for the display. Another pro of this laptop is going to be the battery life. Yes, finally, there is a piece of technology that actually has a substantial battery life to it. This thing right here is said that it has a 10-hour battery life when it's unplugged. So you charge it to 100 and then you can unplug it and you can use it for 10 hours. Now that is actually pretty much true. I did that exact thing just so I could test it for this video. I plugged it into 100, took it out, used it literally all day long when I was off this weekend, when I was off work this weekend, played with it, used YouTube, I edited a couple videos on it, and it actually did last for about 9 hours. Not hitting the full 10, but it did last for about 9 hours, which was really good in my opinion. When I had my iPad Pro, my mom now has that, I would plug it up to 100 and then within 2 hours it'd be down to like 30, no, not 30, but probably around 50%, 40%. So I definitely think this really lives up to the name whenever it comes to battery life. It does very, very well. I've had this unplugged all day long already today, and it's now around 4 o'clock my time, and it's only at 50%. So I mean, it's been on all day long, and I've been up since 7 o'clock this morning. So great battery life in my opinion. It does work really well, and it does say, or it does do what it says it's gonna do when it comes to that. The next pro I have on this MacBook is going to be the speed. Now the speed of this MacBook that I found with using it for about a week and using it every single day consistently, it is very fast. It is a very, very fast device. I can have multiple applications open at one time and it does not bog down the system. It does not make it super slow or anything. I tend to close out of all of my applications whenever I'm done using them, but for this actual purpose here, I opened up a lot of applications all at one time and tried to go back and forth between them and, you know, kind of multitask. It ran just as smooth. There wasn't any kind of lag to it. I was able to scroll on pages and, you know, and there was no lag with any kind of text. Everything still ran very, very smoothly. So that's awesome. And I was really, really happy with that. Now, I did go through and I would open up things like, you know, YouTube or my editor or Spotify. Everything was very quick to respond. It was very snappy. I really loved the fact that nothing really had to load. It was just, I clicked on Safari, or I actually use Google Chrome as my browser, but I clicked on Google Chrome, it popped up within probably like a second. Like, it was very, very fast. Go to YouTube directly and then you just bam there. Everything is very fast. So the speed on the actual computer is top notch in my book. I think it is a very fast computer, even with opening multiple applications, having them run all at the same time. I did not find that it bogged down the system or made anything slow or lag in the slightest. So good on for that. And the last pro I have on the MacBook Pro is going to be the sound. So the sound quality on the MacBook Pro, I did find that it was actually really nice. Whenever I have Spotify open or YouTube open, whatever I have, even my editor, whenever I'm editing these videos, I don't ever have the volume up all the way because it would be extremely loud. It is very, very loud. It is quite bassy, so I do like that. I found that myself. I usually keep it around like 4 ticks upward, 4 or 5, because that's really the loudest that I would really go with it. I don't need it to be super duper loud or anything. If you can see on here, I'll open it up for you. If you can see on the bottom here, there are two separate speakers, one on either side here and here, if you can see that. There are two separate speakers on either side, and it does help. It really puts out the sound and makes everything sound really good. Like I said, I thought it had a good amount of bass to it. Nothing was very flat. I listen to Spotify all the time whenever I'm in the shower or getting ready, so I like to jam to some tunes. So I really did enjoy listening to music on this device. It was quite nice. Now guys, we have talked about the pros, and now we're going to get into the cons. There are going to be 3 of them, so let's go ahead and start off with number 1. The first con I'm going to have on this MacBook here is going to be the weight. Now I do know with devices like this that are quite large, again this is a 15-inch MacBook Pro, the weight definitely is, it's definitely a bit heavier. It probably is a lot less heavy than models in the future because it is quite thin, but this device does have some weight to it. If you're going to be lugging this around to class, or if you work somewhere and you have your own computer and you got this, it's going to be quite heavy, especially if you're putting it in like a backpack or a book bag, something like that. It may end up being heavy after a while whenever you just end up carrying it for so long, because it is quite heavy. Now I haven't had an issue with it being heavy because I don't take it anywhere, not yet anyways, but just from picking it up and carrying it around the house and like putting it down, and whenever I get ready, I have noticed that it is quite heavy, and if you hold it for too long it can definitely make your arms hurt. Okay, well, I'm a girl, I'm me. I don't have any muscles. Girls can have muscles, but I don't. But yeah, the weight definitely is definitely a little bit heavy. Just kind of be aware of that it is definitely a heavier device. I did pick up the 13-inch one as well, and it was definitely lighter, but you know, it's a 13-inch. It doesn't have, you know, all of the guts inside as this one does, but I'm gonna say it's not the end of the world by any means. It is a heavy device and it may hinder you. It may kind of get annoying if you're having to walk around with it everywhere, but it is just a great device, so it's not the end of the world for me. But again, I haven't carried it anywhere, but that is going to be one con that I found on here, is just that it's quite heavy. And the next con on the MacBook Pro here is going to be that it doesn't have any kind of ports in it. It has no USB ports. It has no HDMI ports, so you can't plug it up to anything and, you know, watch TV or something like that. It only has 4 USB Type-C ports. Here's 2 on this side, and then there's 2 on this side, and a headphone jack. I was shocked that it had a headphone jack. I was like, what? I couldn't even imagine that, but I have to have adapters for everything. I have to, because this is my SD card reader, I have to buy a separate adapter for it, which kind of sucks. I think they are really useful, but you know, for some reason, I don't know why Apple is just making everything like you have to buy adapters for, or just gotta buy more stuff. So that kind of gets annoying after a while, but like I said, it's not the end of the world. Once you have the adapters, you already have them, but it does kind of suck that you have to go out and just buy all new adapters, or if you have an SD card, or not SD card, but a flash drive, you have to buy like a USB Type-C flash drive, so that could get annoying. I just wish they would I wish they had just kept it normal, but you know, Apple's always got to be innovative in some way. So, but that is going to be the second con from me, that it has nothing on it. It has no ports, and you have to buy separate adapters. And then the last con on the new MacBook Pro is going to be the price. Now, Apple devices are usually always very expensive. Now, you get a lot for what you pay for, but goodness gracious, it's so expensive. I'm not gonna go into how much this actually was, because if you go on Apple's website and if you like research, you can find this exact same thing. It is MacBook Pro. It is the 2017 edition. It has the not fingerprint, but the touch bar at the top. It's 512 gigabyte, space gray. If you just put all that in there and it'll calculate the price for you, That's how much this was with tax. Now, I did get a good discount because I had a student ID. I am a student, so I did get a nice discount from that. So that was really nice. They do still have that going on. They did when I got the Macbook. They may not have it whenever you get one, but the price is just ridiculous. Like, you really better, like, really need a computer because the price is really, really high. They're not cheap devices whatsoever. But like I said before, they are really great devices and you're getting a lot for what you pay for. But it kind of sucks because you have to pay separately for a lot of things. So you get the computer, then you gotta pay another $300 for, insurance on the computer in case anything happens to it. And then any other applications, anything like that, you have to pay. I mean, Final Cut Pro was an extra $300. So I mean, it's definitely not a cheap investment, but if it's something that you are wanting and are looking for, then I do recommend it. It is a great computer. It's just very, very expensive. So the price is going to be my last comp. And guys, that is going to be it. That is the review of my new MacBook Pro. I really hope that this review did help you guys in kind of deciding whether you were going to get this computer or if you were going to pass up this one and wait for the next one. But guys, I am going to end the video here. If you liked it, please click up that like button and then subscribe if you want to. If you want to see other videos that I post and when I post them, click the little bell down at the bottom there, and I will see you guys later.